Hey, gadget groupies. So here's the deal. I'm actually not super savvy at advanced networking stuff. I know my way around the basics. I can flip around a few settings and stuff, but ultimately, I just want to be able to connect all my devices, plug in my network attached printer. I use a networked printer now, connect my huge lump of hard drives because I'm using a network attached storage solution now, and then switch over my Wi-Fi names into something kind of silly. Straight up ripping off an Eddie Izzard joke there. And recently, our networking situation has been complicated by the last two places we've lived. Our last condo was really long. Our networking hookups at one end of our home, our entertainment and media center at the other end of our home, and the really crappy Wi-Fi modem combo that we get from Spectrum, not nearly powerful enough to reach opposite ends of our condo. And we're currently in the middle of a move. I'm getting Gadget Lab set up. If I were to just turn the camera a couple inches to my left, you'd see the utter war zone of boxes that we've still yet to unpack. Our new place also bringing some fun challenges to the table in that it's a two-story townhouse, and of course our modem router combo from Spectrum not nearly powerful enough to supply signal to both stories at the same time. Well, the folks at Linksys took pity on my plight and sent over one of their new routers to the rescue. This is the WRT3200ACM. I've been using this black and blue monster for about a week now. It's a crazy hub full of ports and connectors, packing the latest in wireless connectivity technology. Ripping open the box, the packaging gets you right to the point. You've got a router, you've got 4 antennas, and you've got an AC adapter, and they also include an Ethernet cable just to get you hooked up. Popping on the 4 antennas was easy enough, but unfortunately, these individual arms are not strong enough to support the weight of the router when it's inverted. And I really was hoping that I could show off some really funny video of this thing looking like an evil robot crab. Robot crab notwithstanding, anyone who's handled a modern day router, these ports on the back should look pretty familiar. We've got an Ethernet input. This is going to feed from your modem to help spread out your internet signal. We've got 4 gigabit Ethernet outputs. We've got a USB 3 port and this really handy USB eSATA combo port. And for these last 2 ports, for anyone who's out there using some kind of, say, like a backup external hard drive connected to your computer, I would highly recommend checking out some of these router solutions, because you can take that hard drive and remove it from just the one computer and set it up on your router to use as a network share of storage for every device connected to your router. It's currently what I'm doing with my NAS to back up all of the computers in our household and then also share all of the music, photo, and video files across any device and our TVs. It's really super handy. The installation was pretty easy. The only wrench in getting this thing up and running came, of course, from the modem router combo that was supplied to me from Spectrum. There were a couple little annoying software settings that I had to adjust on Spectrum's side of the equation. And then it was just another minute sort of circumventing that issue where I was finally able to get into the Linksys setup software, and then it was smooth sailing from there. Linksys provides a very easy to use browser setup tool to get you up and running. Like I said, it just took me a minute to circumvent my current router. And once you're through that setup process, we've got this fantastic control panel. Controls and menus are well laid out to get you through even more moderately advanced networking options. Now, Linksys touts MU-MIMO, MU-MIMO, which stands for multiple user, multiple input, multiple output antennas. Basically, it's a fancy way of saying that this router should do a better job of distributing your resources across your entire network, allowing multiple users on multiple devices to share that internet connection with better network connectivity. In trying to test, this router is actually kind of overkill for the somewhat lame internet speeds that we get here in Southern California, but sharing files across devices on my network, this thing was lightning fast. Even my NAS, which is pretty slow at file transfers, was performing better on this router than it had been on my previous networking gear. What was super easy to test was the signal strength. Now, for those of you who have already moved up to more robust networking solutions, you're all well aware, especially for these fancy looking routers with these sort of electronic crab looking antennas, we're getting much better signal throughput these days. But I was coming from an old 802.11n router which couldn't reach the farthest edges of our old condo. We no longer have that issue. Even on the 5 gigahertz network, which usually has poorer wall penetration, we're getting solid throughput across our entire townhouse and even into our garage. So for the first time since we've set up our own little sort of network of connected devices, we're thinking about putting a webcam in our garage as sort of a security camera. Now, there's a ton of software to chew through, which I'm not really going to be be able to do everything justice in this video here. This is running OpenWRT. This is open source software, which very easily allows you to create VPNs, to create guest hotspots, to turn this 3200 ACM into a web server to access Tor secure browsing. There are just a number of different features and plugins that you can access for this software, and that the Linksys software that you interact with on the routers, through a browser or through the Linksys app, allows you to treat this almost like plug and play components. It's really easy to start setting up some of these things, which in the past have been more advanced situations that you would have had to know a little bit more about the networking nuts and bolts, the ins and outs of how these things work. Lastly, we're all kind of blowing up our home networks with Internet of Things, IoT connected devices, smart web cameras, smart light bulbs, smart appliances. And each of those items has their own app for you to interact with. So, you've got this gadget, it connects to your network. And then once it's connected to your network, you can log into that device from anywhere you have a data signal. So why not have the same capabilities for the actual hub, which is responsible for becoming the backbone of that personal area network you run at home. For controlling that network stuff, I'm used to logging in through a browser when I'm connected to that home network. But through the Linksys Smart WiFi app, anywhere I have a data connection, I can get in and at least get to the basics of managing parental controls or guest accounts. It's a really handy way to kind of cover a lot of the things that you'll be apt to do day to day for managing your home networking. Even just to get a look at how many devices are connected to your network, if you need to guard against any potential intrusion from neighbors who are trying to leech off your internet connection. But it's actually a pretty handy little app for both iOS and Android. So let's wrap this up. Where does that leave us with the Linksys WRT3200 ACM? I'm pretty impressed. This is a robust, semi-professional option with terrific signal coverage, especially in our two-story townhouse here, and some excellent software to help you manage everything that's happening on your network. Linksys lists this router at $249, which I feel is right on the pulse with what this device has to offer. I feel like I'm not even close to maxing out what this thing has to offer. How desperately I wish Southern California could get on that gigabit fiber internet train. That would be totes rad, even for not hitting that speed threshold. There's a lot that I like here, not the least of which is just the easy setup, how quick it was to get this thing up and running, plugged into my existing network, and getting all my devices moved over to it for much more consistent signal and throughput. It's a great router out of the box, and there's plenty of room to grow as my networking requirements become more advanced. I've got a link down below this video for anyone interested in shopping the Linksys WRT3200 ACM. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for all of my side projects and reviews. You can catch all of my main smartphone, tablet, and wearable coverage over at pocketnow.com. I want to thank all the people supporting this channel. You're helping keep the lights on here inside Gadget Lab 2.0 as I finish getting our new place set up, sharing my videos and reviews, clicking on my affiliate links, and by buying my book, Take Better Photos, Smartphone Photography for Noobs, which is currently available on Amazon. I'm always down to talk some tech, and you can chat me up on Twitter and Instagram as Some Gadget Guy, and I will catch you all on the next review. So Linksys lists this. Linksys lists this.